Mhm. Hey, Dale.
Is it still afternoon or is it evening yet?
I don't know. It's been a long day. That's all I know. Hey, Dr. World.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Well,
Good to see you.
And it has been quite a day.
Say it again.
I was at the office at 7 o'clock this morning, had already Zoomed in with somebody from the state office and was finishing up with a grant at 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, but it's in. We submitted it. So it's for two re-engagement coaches at two of our high schools.
Yeah.
And it's through those ESSER monies. And if you don't, I mean, you've got to tap into all of it, but it looks like I'm going to get the money for two full-time positions for 12 months to work at two of my high schools where I already have CIS, going. So it was worth it.
It is, but it's just so crazy this time of the year with just deadlines and finishing up everything by that June 30th deadline too.
Well, I've got everything else. I was looking at my budgets today. I've got $8,000 more to spend in one thing. I know what I'm going to do tomorrow though, but any money I've got to make sure it's spent because tomorrow's the last day that I can do anything with it.
Exactly. Well, and so many folks in your school districts, there's been so much turnover. So you have so many people that you're trying to connect with that have changed or have different hats they're wearing now. It just makes it very complicated.
It does.
Yeah.
Now, are you recording this on your end, Dale?
It says it's recording. I don't know who it is.
Mine, I just paused on my end because once you get through, I'm going to need to just continue with my students. So I will let me.
It's probably me since I came in so early. I just turned it on about a half an hour ago.
Well, it's saying recording on my end, so just leave it alone after everybody phases out.
All
And then
right.
I'll see. Mine is going to be more of after we go off, mine's going to be question and answer time tonight. So that's what ours is going to be after everybody zooms out.
We're popping out also. And Dr. Stedman, we're not meeting next week. Are you meeting the week of the 4th?
I'm not meeting next week, but I'm going to be home. So they're working on the SOP. So I'm going to be available on that night. And I'm just going to have office hours at 7 o'clock for anybody that needs help that night. Dr. Revis and we had talked about it, and I'm just going to be there for anybody that needs help.
Exactly. Got it.
Dr. Revis, are you in class with Dr. Stedman when we get through here tonight?
Yes, I was planning on staying with him, unless
Okay.
you need me to be somewhere else.
No, I don't. But what I was hoping is, I know it'll be late when y'all get through, but if you could give me a call, I want to talk about a doctoral student of mine.
Okay.
If you've got a few minutes to call me later or call me tomorrow.
Of course.
It won't be late. We'll be through probably before 8 o'clock tonight. Dr. Lamb.
All right, I'll still be on the way home by then.
Okay.
You messing with my hand. Sure. You see like
Let's see, Dr. Putnam has joined us. There's Dr. Stone.
Hey, everybody.
All
Real quickly.
Hello.
So 5. Sanders has got 2. Stedman's got 1.
Dr. Stone's here scheming.
Mm,
We're gonna put together some kind of a program for our completers at the end of the summer since there isn't any kind of commencement. He's been scheming on that this afternoon, so we're gonna do something for them.
He's just so creative.
I know. No, I know. I have zero creativity, but I don't think that's gonna change. But, he's gonna work on that. He does such a good job with that. Students enjoy that so much.
Mhm.
And so he's starting to work on that. So I'll tell you, it's getting short time. We're gonna have a week off next week, and there won't be what 3 weeks left after that. So
Right. We're in the short rows.
we're in the short rows. We've turned around. I'm like the old mule heading back. I get faster heading toward the barn. So I'm excited about that we're moving through. I think we got 95 that are going to finish this summer. That's a lot.
Well, we've cleared all 14 of mine with the cap, and I've got 2 cleared with the SIOP so far.
That's great.
So
That's awesome.
That is great. They're doing well. You know, after all that folks have been through this year, it's amazing.
They're working very hard.
They are. That is true. That is true.
I tell them all the time, they probably call me all kinds of names. I said, I don't care as long as you get it done.
Well, that's what's important.
Yeah, I told them they'd love me at the end, didn't I, Felicia?
Yep. Yep.
They'd love me at the end of the process.
Yeah,
they'd say.
yeah, it gets better at the end.
He's all right after all.
Yeah. We still got folks joining us. We got about
Steve Laws, are
30.
you behaving yourself?
Always.
Have you got a Mountain Dew hidden somewhere? I figured you had one. Some things never change, Dr. Putnam.
Sundrop.
I saw that Dale came to campus today, and I had to go out. I had to go around a long way to make sure he didn't see I was there.
Yeah, I knew it was him. That cat was crawled up on his car. That's my favorite. They want to get rid of that cat. I feed that cat, take care of it, because every time he comes to campus, that cat crawls up on his new car. That tickles me more than anything in the world.
My car's not new, and it only does it when it's washed.
I got a picture on my phone when I'm sad and not too happy. I go back to this and I pull up that picture of that cat on his car. That makes me the happiest of anything in the
And
world.
you haven't seen it back on there since, have you? Because that's the last time I had the car washed, probably.
Yeah, there he is.
You're misportraying me to these good folk that don't
You
know
think
me.
I'm making? Look at that cat on his car right there.
Uh-huh.
That's his new car. That cat just put. I love that cat.
It's not a new car. I don't have the money you have, Dale.
Car's new to you. I don't know. It's a nice looking car, shiny.
Not when that cat's on it.
Not when that cat gets on it, though. Yeah, I take care of that cat, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. I tell you what, it's amazing what you do to amuse yourself around this place. But it keeps us happy. All right, I've got, what time is it? It's about 7:03. So welcome, everybody. We got about 40 folks with us tonight. Looking at the folks, first of all, thank you for being with us. We won't take up your class time tonight. I'm looking for specific people. Dr. Putnam from EDCI and Dr. Laws, the program coordinator for EDLS, are with us tonight. This is kind of this is kind of the 2-week notice. July 14th, we will stop recruiting for the fall. We'll have a recruiting meeting again tomorrow. We've got 5 of our folks who are accelerating from our spring cohort. So Nicole Gunnan, Tasha Hott and Jenna Wells, Jamie Rhodes and Kay Harris, congratulations to them. They're going to be accelerating into the fall. We got some other folks who are finishing this summer who are going to start this fall. And so I'm going to turn it over to them for one last, if you want to ask them questions for whatever they want to tell you tonight. But again, the point of this is to recruit for our 2 doctoral programs. Dr. Hamilton, I'm recruiting for him in DEOL. If you have any, he just had to leave. We've been doing doctoral defenses all day. And so if you have any questions on doctoral, on DEOL, I'll answer those. That's organizational leadership, non-K-12, nonprofit colleges, community colleges. We have a program track for that. And I have the 2 experts here for EDCI and EDLS. And so I'll turn it over to Dr. Putnam and let her start out tonight. Dr. Putnam.
Well, I thought old Dr. Laws was going to start, but I'll start first. I see Bradley Ruin on here, and hi, Bradley, how are you? He's coming into EDCI this fall. I guess Dr. Laws and I are here just to let you know about these programs. We're not competing against each other. We love each other and love both of our programs. And I think both programs have their purpose. It kind of depends on what your end goal might be. The EDCI program is about curriculum and instruction, and it is a doctorate that sometimes principals or assistant principals join our program because they want to be they want to round out their expertise and think that curriculum and instruction is, of course, the point of schooling. And so they want to make sure that they're grounded in that. And so we try to prepare you to be better at your jobs at the site level, but also for a position at the district level in curriculum and instruction. And of course, we also want to help you if sometime or another you'd like to teach at the collegiate level. So that's what we do in our program. We kind of start off with doing a comprehensive needs assessment for a site and a district, and then the next semester work on work that leads to family and community engagement at a site and district. The next semester we work on understanding PLCs at a deeper level and making sure that they're done the way that they're supposed to be done, because probably they aren't doing it the way that they're supposed to be done. We do and then we work on, we write some rigorous curriculum and learn about the theories and the understanding of a rigorous curriculum design and what that means, and how that transfers to schools and districts. And then in our last semester, work on creating a virtual professional learning module that is available to districts across the state, the nation, and actually internationally. So when you're finished, you kind of have something published that you can share if it's the needs of other districts. And that's a collaborative project that you work on with other people. So that's our program in a nutshell. And I'll be quiet and let Dr. Laws talk about his.
So the EDLS is a leadership doctorate, and as it says in the title, and ours is more in a generic sense of leadership, not specific to curriculum and instruction, although we have one of our 6 modules that deals with curriculum and instruction. And actually the second one, we have a second one that deals with adult learning theory and capacity building of employees. So there's really about a third of our program that is curricularly oriented. Our program is aligned with the superintendent standards that are very similar in name to the principal standards, the school-based administrator standards that you're doing now. just in a more global context. And but I need to emphasize and have before, some of you have heard me say, we are not a superintendent development program. You do get a superintendent's license, but it's not specific to superintendency. We consider ourselves a leadership program. So, and much of what we discuss would fit leadership in a school, in a church, in a community organization, in your home, whatever, because we talk about how to get people on board with what your vision is for what is needed. So one of the things that we want just to quickly touch on tonight is being cognizant that many of you are at a transition point, and a few of you hopefully would be interested in continuing your education in a doctoral program. Those of you that are in 603 this summer, and I know Dale has mentioned this to you, and other instructors have as well, have the option, if you're an add-on, to transition into the EDLS program for the fall and not do the 605 coursework. And Dale, I want to make sure I say this correctly. They still do the evidence, but they don't do the coursework. The 730 class for EDLS will replace the 605 that you would have been in otherwise. But you still do the evidence so you can get your school-based administration license. So Dale and the others in MELS can guide you through that, but it does save you some money if you are inclined to do so and you're an add-on student currently in 603. Those of you who are finishing the MELS program this summer, you also can switch, just keep on going as if you're just loaded with all kinds of money, but it's an investment. You know it, I know it. And Dr. Putnam and I talk about this. We are very much aware of the expense. It's you know, if it's something that interests you, you know, some of you are in a kind of a groove now and just keep going. Our programs are alike in so many ways, in that we do the low residency, which is 3 weekends per semester, face-to-face. Saturdays, usually 9 o'clock to around 4 o'clock. Sundays, we usually are out no later than 2 o'clock so that you can get home to have a little bit of rest before you go back to your full-time job on Mondays. And then we'll do maybe 7 or 8 Zooms on a particular night of the week in addition to that. So that's the meeting times. Both programs align you with a dissertation coach from the very beginning. We have continuously received accolades for that. None of the good folk who are instructing you had that option when they got their doctorate, and that would include Dr. Putnam and me too. We none of us had coaches. We all finished our coursework, then started writing our dissertation. Now we do it kind of concurrently, and it's done very well. EDLS will have 2 students defending in the next couple of weeks that will, and both are products of MELS, by the way, and they will concurrently finish coursework and dissertation in 2 years, and will be finished and will graduate August 1st or July the 30th or whatever the date is this summer. So we don't have a graduation ceremony till December, but they will get their degree. So if you are interested in either of our programs, my email is slaws, is like what you put on a hot dog, SLAWS, plural slaw, but slaws, and at gardner-webb.edu. And I would love to send you a handbook if you haven't gotten it already. And Dr. Putnam's way ahead of me, and she's putting her in your chat box as well, mine and her email. So with that, Dale, I'll shut up, and if anybody has questions for either one of us.
All right,
I wanna
we'll
say-
entertain any questions for these folks.
Dale, can I say one thing?
Sure.
Yeah, ours, we also allow, EDCI also gives you credit. So if you are in 603, you can also come into EDCI, but it is different. You, in EDCI, the course that gives you credit is the last one in our program. And so where EDLS, you would get your certification in the first semester, you would get it in your last semester with EDCI. However, I will say that we have two people who came from MELS and into EDCI who they're in the middle of their program right now, so they have 3 more semesters to go. But one of them just got a job this last week. So it's up to, I'm not telling you that it will happen. I'm just saying it's possible if your district allows it, and that's totally up to your district. If saying to you, I'll have my certification in 3 more semesters, and maybe I could still apply for these positions, but that's completely up to a district. So I don't know if that could actually happen or not, but one person in our program that happened to this semester. So and we have, I think we have 3 people from males into EDCI, but it does take you longer to get fully certified in EDCI compared to EDLS. The work doesn't change. It just, you wait till the end of the semester to get that done. So I just wanted to say that. And I think in EDCI, I think they don't have to do the evidence, right? Because I think I think in EDLS, they still have to do the evidence, but in EDCI, they don't have to do the evidence, but it still takes you longer.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's it. And so what Dr. Putnam is talking about is if you accelerate from 603, you're in this summer add-on into either of the programs in the fall, you'll continue on and do your 698 and you'll do your last 2 evidences, the CAP and the SOP, and you'll get your license at Christmas. If you go into the EDCI program, you won't. When you take your last course, you will have completed 2 evidences during the course of the EDCI program that take the place of those. We have 4 that are in common, and 2 of those will count towards your last 2, but you'll have to wait till the 2 years are up in the EDCI program to actually get your administrative license. But the payoff for waiting is you don't have to do those last 2 evidences. We'll substitute 2 that you did during the EDCI. And so it's a $3,000 savings. 6 credit hours at the MELS rate this fall is $498 a credit hour. So it's $3,000 savings if you accelerate from 603. Now you can only do it in the fall because of the way the timing works, but it is quite an incentive to do that. These are 2 excellent programs. They're both highly ranked. They have very good people. They do their model's a little bit different, as they said. They go to class basically every other week during the week and then have some weekends for low residency. And so their coursework lasts 2 years, 2-year coursework, and you can work dissertation at the same time. And so you could theoretically finish the whole thing in 2 years, or you can finish in 2.5 or 3 if you according to how that goes. But their coursework is just 2 years. Now, contrast that with the third of our doctoral programs at Gardner-Webb in the School of Education. We have an organizational leadership doctorate, which is a full 3-year program, 3 years of classwork, 9 semesters, spring, summer, fall for 3 years. However, now it is for people who are not looking to work in K-12 education. It's for if you want to work in a community college, if you want to work in a small college, and not in a curricular area, but if you want to work in housing or admissions or something, student services, something like that, or if you want to work in other nonprofit like city, county government, we have a doctorate that is specific to that. It does not have a dissertation, it has a capstone. And so you will work on that capstone, which we call a consultancy project, all the way through. You'll present it at the end. And so that is a full 3-year coursework program, but without the dissertation, but it does have a capstone, which is just as much work, but it's along the way. But that's for folks who are looking to move out of K-12. We have a lot of folks who, when they're getting close to retirement from K-12, look into that program because they're looking to move into another phase of their career. They're still young enough, they want to do that. Dr. Jeff Hamilton, I'll put his email in the chat, or you can get in touch with me. He's J Hamilton 2, JHAMILTON 2, J Hamilton 2 at, and you know the rest, Gardner Webb. And so that is our third and final doctoral program. We'd love to, have you join us in any of these programs. I highly recommend them. The good thing is you know the Gardner Webb system. You know that we're about our faith and servant leadership, and that won't change in these programs. And so there's a comfort level with knowing what you're going to what you're going to do. So, and so the question is what point do you need to decide? Well, we're going to cut off admissions for the fall on July 14th. So you're going to have to move pretty quickly here. You got to beat Bastille Day. And I happen to know why July 14th is Bastille Day, because it's also my birthday. And so by my birthday, you will need to have made a decision and get your application in. Now, they'll work with you for the next month to complete it, but you need to at least have that application in by July 14th so that you can be in process. So you've got a couple of weeks to decide. Again, Mel's cost this fall is going to be $4.98 a credit hour. Doctors Putnam or Laws, do you know what the doctoral rate's going to be this fall? $5. It's a little more than the Mel's rate, but it's not.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
But it's not a great deal more. And so off the top of my head, since I have nothing else on top of my head except for glare tonight, I'd say if you plan maybe $5.50, something like that, $5.50 a credit hour, and you can do the math from there. Dr. Laws, how many hours is your program?
63.
63. And Dr. Putnam, so 63 times 550. Ouch.
It's gonna be $35,000.
Yeah, and if you accelerate, this one-time deal, if you're in 603 and you accelerate, it'll cost, that's a pretty big savings. That's nearly a 10% savings. You'll save $3,000. But yeah, it's going to be $30,000 to $35,000. It's not cheap, but doctoral programs aren't cheap anywhere. You seen what it costs to go to law school lately? This is less than half a year of law school. So Dr. Putnam shaking their head. Didn't your son just finish? She had 2 that just finished. And so, these terminal degree programs have gotten really, really, really expensive. You're not going to get a big price break going to a state college. I'll just tell you, none of these programs are cheap. None of them. But, I believe they're worth what you pay. We've spent enough of y'all's time tonight. We had 45 people that joined us. We appreciate that. If you get in touch with one of us, if you're interested, again, we appreciate you. We appreciate you picking and choosing Gardner Webb. We enjoy working with all of you. It's a blessing for all of us, and we appreciate your time. So we'll bow out now. Thank you.
Yeah,
all.
And if
let me say that
you're in my class, don't sign out now.
Yeah, real quick, the sites for the face-to-face, we do Goldsboro, probably Thomasville, which is the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area, Charlotte, and the main campus. And that would be for both of us. Now, they got to have at least 10 in them to make, but that's where we're scheduled to look.
Again, that's in the west is the main campus. In the Triad area is Thomasville. In the east is Goldsboro, and then of course in the center, the urban area is Charlotte. So that's your 4 areas where you would have to go for your weekend low residences.
Thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Thank you.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
My class, please leave and go to the other one.
Okay, and my class stay. Okay, I'll give it almost. Okay. LaQuisha, are you going to stay with me or are you going to go with your group?
I have to look and see which group I'm going to.
Okay, who's your instructor, LaQuisha?
Lord have mercy. Todd. Okay. Dr. Todd.
Okay,
My
yes,
bullet?
just close out and then just join like you would normally. Go back into her
Okay.
Blackboard and just join that way.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, Lanika. Okay, Shay Fuller. Shay, who's your instructor, Shay? Okay. Shay must have left and went somewhere and just left it on. Anyway, she'll join us. Anyway, to the rest of this evening is and Dr. Rivers, I had forgotten that they were coming in tonight. I mean, it was just I had it down. It just I kept seeing all those. I saw those names. I said, "What is going on?" And then I remembered because it's been several weeks since I sent that information out.
I had forgotten too, and I thought, oh, I'm in the wrong place.
No, I did to start with. It startled me to start with, but anyway, the reason we're
Me too.
the rest of this evening, let's just it's very informal. You can unmute yourselves, and it's an opportunity. Everybody has finished with the CAP, so everybody is at a they're into the PSYOP right now, and I've gotten some I have gotten some PSYOP work that to look at, and well, Ashley and Michelle both have completed the PSYOP. They are through. They both got 4 O's on it. So others are you've begun the journey with that. Have to remind you, and this is where, and Dr. Revis has said the same thing because she's editing a lot of work or looking at a lot of work in some other classes with the PSYOP because she's the coach in other classes as well. The biggest thing is, and I've emphasized it over and over and over again, while we are allowing you to copy and paste, it's not just a copy and paste. You've got to remember that when you go and pull something from work that you've previously done and you put it into the PSYOP, that there must be a flow there. It must, when you look at it, it must make sense. You know, when you read, it's telling a story about your school pretty much, you know. So the thing is, make sure that you always, your narrative work is so important because leading into something will, you know, when I look at it, I need to know why it's there. And then when you leave that, you don't just go to something else without transitioning into that. So, you know, sometimes it may not be but a sentence or two, but that transition, it causes the flow to be there and it makes sense. So make sure that when you are doing the copying and pasting, that you're taking the time to pull it together so that it's cohesive and it's making sense. Now, I will tell you, the PSYOP helpful hints document, I've laid out everything in there step by step by step. All those things that I said must be included. Do not leave anything out. You know where I told you in PSYOP 1 to make sure that you talk about attendance. Remember when I told you to talk about discipline. Remember when I told you to talk about the academic accomplishments at your school. Remember when I told you to make sure that you show and you explain and you show EBOS data. And those headings need to be there. Bold face those headings so that when I or Dr. Revis look at it, and especially your evaluator, there's no mistakes, that they see what they need to see. When you copy and paste, remember that if you go back to the APSL and you copy and paste a lot of what the APSL, don't put the directives in there. Or the prompts, don't read those prompts, don't need to be in there. Only the work needs to be in there. If there was if you go back and copy and paste, and I'm thinking about things that I've seen so far, you had a reference section after every one of your tasks. Take those reference sections out. You're going to put those at the very end after you've completed task 6 of the SIOP. And when you put all your whatever references you need, all of those are going to come at the end. I don't need to see references embedded into task 1 through 6 in your document work. But again, take your time and follow it step by step by step. Felicia, you understood my directions when I sent it back to you, didn't you? Did you understand what I was telling you to do?
No, sir,
okay.
because I haven't had a chance to even
Okay,
look at my
okay.
email.
Okay, and again, I'm not picking on you, but yours
No
is the one
problem.
yours is the one that's the most recent one that I've looked at. And those are some things that I saw in there. So look at that. And I did tell you to let Dr. Revis look at it as well as another set of eyes, and giving you some comments. Now, again, remember, you can resubmit that work right back into the same place. And if I if I told you to go back and look at something again, and I gave you a 90 or 80 the first time, if you go back and you fix it and think, I'm going to change that grade. Okay.
Right. Yes,
So
sir.
that's just to let you know that it's not bad. It means you got a lot of good stuff, but I probably could say that you would get by with proficiency, but you want to strive for accomplished work, all of you. So, so if I send it back, if it's gosh awful, I'm going to tell you it's gosh awful and you need to start all over again. But most of the time you could probably get by with it being proficient, but we're not going to accept that at this point. Now, I have to remind you, do not let time slip up on you. Remember, task 1, 2, and 3 must be completed by when? Somebody tell me. July what?
7th.
No,
July
July
7th.
7th. Now go back and look at your calendar. What day is July 7th on?
A weekday.
Wednesday.
It's on a Wednesday. Notice it's not on a Sunday this time.
Right.
Okay, so you must pace yourself so that, and I don't need to be seeing task 1, 2, and 3 on the 7th at one time. That's why I've put it in there. I need to see each one independently. And that doesn't mean that you can't go on and work on the next task. Do not submit it until I've cleared you with the task at hand. That way you know that you're cleared and you don't have to think about that anymore and you can move on.
Okay.
Use Dr. Revis if you need to. She will look at that. She will give you advice on it as well. But I have to tell you again, do not procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Time is running out. Now, the 7th task, 1, 2, and 3 must be through. Then let's go back and look. When are the remaining 4, 5, and 6 tasks due? Okay, Diane.
July 15th.
July 15th. What day is July 15th on?
Thursday.
It's not on a Sunday. And you know why? We are having to comply with the registrar's office, and when everything has to be completed so that we can move you forward for your licensure purposes. All of that fits into the formula, and that's why the dates are what they are. Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but if it scares you, I want it to make you do what you need to do. Just remember, this is your last semester. Previous to this, if you ran into a problem or you ran in behind, remember you had the next semester that they could kind of say, okay, we'll work with you and we'll let you start, and ain't no catching up this time because it's your last semester. So guess what? If you do not meet those deadlines and we don't get your work cleared, that's what Dr. Revis is working with me. Guess what? You will have to end up in the fall taking $6.99 and paying for an extension to be able to finish. You do not want that. You do not want that. So please, please do not let that happen. Now, you may not be able to go out for the next 2 weeks and do anything much, but just remember, you're so close to the end that your family's going to have to understand this. They're going to have to work with you. And you just sit down and tell them, look, I'm doing this for me, but I'm doing it for you too. So, tell them somebody else can cook, somebody else can sweep the floors and vacuum and do those things. Do what you've got to do to get your work finished. You've come too far, you've done too much for, not to do what you need to do at this point. I have to remind you again too, that the week 8 assignment with your strength-based leadership book. Now that's a lot of work, but how many of you, just raise your hand, how many of you are already working in that book and you've looked into it? To me, this is one of my favorite things to read into. I love this book and I love the activities that's involved. It's a lot of work, but you can learn so much about leadership and about yourself in this book. So this is this and the assignment at the end that Dr. Revis is leading off on. I kind of call these, they're not, but I kind of call these our exams, our final exams, because I learned so much about you as students and you learn about yourself. So this is due week 8 for me to look at it in Blackboard and to give your assessment. And that's when I'll look at your Zoom videos where you've come together as teams. But then on week 9, when we come to week 9, we're going to devote that whole class except for question and answers that you may have about the SIOP work or what Dr. Revis said. But the whole week 9 is we're going to talk about this experience because you will have learned some things about yourself. And I want us to talk about that. You will have talked about it as a group, but then I want us to come together with your Zoom team, but I want us to come together as a class and to talk about this book on week 9. So this is going to be what we devote week 9 to. Okay.
Dr. Stedman, I have a book. This is the one I have. Is that incorrect then? Because that's the one I've been reading. That's the one with the 32 strengths listed.
It's got to be, if it's, now, does it have an assessment in the back of it, Diane?
Yes,
Okay. What edition is that? Is this Strength Finder 2.0? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it says Strength Finder 2.0.
Okay. It's probably
that's
probably just a newer face than this one is. I've had this book for a while. As long as it says, and it's by Tom Rath and Barry Conchie, right?
It doesn't have. I don't think Barry Conchie is in here. I think it's just Tom Rath.
Okay, let's do something. Go to page.
Don Clifton, this little guy.
Clifton
Yeah.
Spritz. Okay. I don't know, and it may work, but are you able to find the work that I'm asking you to do? Are all of those
I'm not
Is it
finding the
there?
quotes. All that's in here is on every other page, there is a strength, and then they give you examples. So there'll be,
Okay,
this one's
Okay.
belief, and then ideas, and then it moves on to like another one. So this
okay.
communication with ideas.
Look on page 7 of your book.
Okay,
Okay, does it say leading by imitation on that page?
no.
Okay, that's my book says that, so I don't know. Because there are 2 sections.
I think I'll be able to do the final, but I don't think I'll be able to get the quotes and everything, but I can go on and see if I can get it online, because it's probably too late to be able to get it physically.
Just see what you can do, and we'll work through it. Okay, just
Okay.
see what you can figure out. Okay. Okay. Are there other questions about any of your work at this point?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure. Is this Sarah?
It is, my camera's broken, I'm sorry.
Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
So for task 2, where you have to create your own way to display your information for your plan to your school improvement team, is that something as simple as an action plan, or do you want something more detailed as far as how we're going to display that information?
An action plan would be great with that. Let me pull my notes. Hold just a second. Where did I put them?
May I go ahead and talk while you're
Go
looking?
ahead, Dr. Rabbit. I
What I
load my
like to-
stuff up and take it to work with me sometime, and I've got to find where I put it.
Yeah. What I like to see here is a visual display of your data sources. So what that means to me is taking a lot of the data that you looked at and in your teacher working conditions survey analysis, and looking at that data that you can, I think you can take a screenshot or copy and paste some of that
so
data.
I have that. I was
Yeah.
just saying, as far as when I present it to the school improvement team,
Then
do
we
you
would
just
I
include
got
that
you, I
all
got
in my
you, got you, got
PowerPoint
you.
presentation, is what you're saying?
Yeah, some kind of
Okay.
slideshow presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't understand, Sarah, what you were
Okay.
asking me.
Okay.
And then my second question was, in task 3, I know you're supposed to create a focus group, and
Right.
then it says to record that. Do we need just a screenshot?
That'll be
What
fine.
if, or
You know,
what if we, can we just turn in the presentation if we just had the PowerPoint presentation?
that'll work, yes.
Okay.
That'll work. That's the best case scenario if if you can do those things. But you won't be penalized as long as you show evidence that you have
Okay.
worked with and presented. Yes.
Okay. I think that were the only 2 that I had. Thank y'all very much.
You are welcome. Okay. Other questions?
Yes, Dr. Stebbins, I have a question, and Dr. Webb.
Okay.
I know that our internship log is due on the 16th of July. My scenario, my principal, by God's grace and mercy, she has been promoted to be our director of secondary programs for our county. And I'm receiving my new principal, and they're going to transition on July 1st, which will be this Thursday. What do I need to do to get the sign? Who would I, go to with the sign off of that? This last
Keep on working. Just your principal that's leaving. How many hours do you lack finishing this semester?
Well, at this moment, I'm over my 80.
Go ahead and get the signature and knock it out.
Okay,
Just go ahead. If you're over 80, go ahead and knock it out with your principal that you've got now.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. We won't complicate matters.
Okay.
Dr. Stedman, with the subgroups, am I comparing that new data? Am I comparing those subgroups because we didn't really we didn't do that deep of a data dive in the APSO. So I'm comparing some new data because I'm looking at the different subgroups. So I'm looking at, students with disabilities or
Right.
managed.
That's right, Diane. And anything that's going to tell you, the EVOS is going to tell you where the students are, because based on that data, that should let you know what you need to do. EVOS says that this is where they are, and you should be able to provide through instruction and direction a year's growth in a year's time for that student based on the EVOS data. So you've got to know where they are. So it's really just looking at all your subgroups and just talking about this is where we are. Is your plan of action to so this is where we are, but this is where we need to go, and this is what we need to do.
Okay, I do not have much academic accomplishments. I mean, all our scores are horrible, obviously. But we don't, I mean, the only thing we did well was, I guess attendance, and we did really well with discipline.
And you can say that, and you can just say, you realize, again, this is for real for you. So, look at the reality of it. And again, when you present it, we hope that administration will receive it well, but you will have done your job once you present it, and what they choose to do with it then is left up to them. Good leadership would take it and they would move forward with it, but that's not always the case. But you will have accomplished what you need to accomplish and would have learned what you need to learn in the process.
Okay.
Okay, good questions. Okay, Penny, you've been quiet.
Sarah asked my question, so.
Okay. And Hope smiles and shakes her head. What about Hope? You got to talk to us. Are you okay?
I had questions down, and every single one of my questions has been answered. That's why it looked like I was turning away. I was just checking off like, okay, yes, I'm in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think I kind of took it too literally at first, and that's why it's just about done, but I was really going through each and all of my data with my group. But I was like, okay, now I'm getting stressed out because I'm looking at the calendar and I'm running out of time. So it's like, okay, hold on, get it together.
Right.
But tonight helped me to now go ahead and get through this so I can submit it.
Okay, good.
But I also noticed, because I finished the book and I took the survey, it got me dead to rights. I mean, I am definitely
it was eye-opening, wasn't it?
About structure and how I set things up, and people, look at me and say, why do you do it that way? That's how my brain works. I have to have my order, and then I can fly through and, get it done. So I'm on the right track.
Right, good. Diane, don't order that book. I want you to talk to me, call me tomorrow.
Okay.
And I need to see what it is. I will readjust what you have to do to make it, but I just don't think you've got time, and I don't want to stress you out with that. It's important, you got to do it, but I think you can get the strengths are there. So you're going to be able to talk about that. You're going to be able to do the assessment, but we'll figure out something else in lieu of the responding to the questions, because I don't think you've got time to do that and get the book in time. So we'll figure that out, okay?
Thank you, because I'm just about done. So I did.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. I'll let me think through this, and just let me think through it, and we'll work something out with that.
Okay.
So Dr. Stedman, is safe after I finish reading my Strength Finders leadership book, then it is safe that I can go ahead and pull my access code and do the assessment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm meeting with my team tomorrow, so we can do our Zoom team
Mhm.
discussion tomorrow. Okay, that's why.
Okay,
You know,
good. Yeah,
okay,
go ahead and do that because, and Hope just said that she's done hers and she said it was an eye opener for her.
okay. Well,
That
you
it
know,
was-
I will be up about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning working.
I've seen your work pattern. Because it shows me the times whenever y'all submit your work. So I know more about y'all than y'all think I do.
Amen.
Uh, but anyway, well, I hope that it's been a lot, and you still got a lot to do. It's been a lot, but I hope that Dr. Revis and I have tried to make it as doable and as understandable as possible, in the short time that you've had to complete all this. And we've tried to work through it and to figure out the best ways so that you would be successful in all that you do. So again, and I push you hard, and that's because I'm supposed to, and Dr. Revis is supposed to. But it's like I said earlier, I think when it's all over with, you're going to say, wow, look what I've accomplished. I really do. So, but thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. I hope that, are there any other questions though before we Zoom out? Everybody good?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank all of you. And Diane, we'll talk tomorrow sometime, okay?
Okay.
All
All right, thank you so much.
Diane,
Thank you.
you need to you've got my number. Diane, call me sometime tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Call me sometime
Thank you.
tomorrow, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Have a blessed night.
Okay.